So I had intended to get up here and talk about how racist Robert E. Lee was, but I'm gonna talk about you, Connie. Sitting over there shopping while we talking about Robert E. Lee. This is a picture of you shopping while we talking about racism and history in this country. Only white members of this board got up while we were up here talking too, because you don't give a damn, and it's clear. But I'm gonna tell you what the slaves, my ancestors, said about Robert E. Lee, since you don't know history, sister. Let me tell you that they said when he got the plantation, after he got off the field where 27,000 people died at Gettysburg, Connie, Robert E. Lee was a brutal slave master. Not only did when he whooped the slaves, he said, lay it on them hard. After he said, lay it on them hard, he said, put brine on them so it'll burn them. That's what Robert E. Lee did. And you set your arrogant self in here and sit on there shopping while the pain and the hurt of the people of this community is on display, because you don't give a damn and you should resign. You should have resigned 2 years ago when you choked a white man in his house. You should have resigned 2 weeks ago when you got on TV and said foolishness. And you should walk out of here and resign and never come back, because you are the example of racism in this community. You are horrible. Now to the rest of the board. You have an obligation to the people of this community, and 81% of them are black. And do you need a Klan rally outside, Mr. Goday, before you end it? Because holding it up means that you put that building in jeopardy. You do, sir. Because all over the country, they're burning stuff down. And black folks in this city have stood with protesters. I ain't seen you elected officials out there with them, making sure that nothing goes south in Baton Rouge. It's been folks in this community who give a damn. Not just when it's comfortable, but every time. And 4 years ago, we came down here. Mr. Drake, they say you're a good man. Be a good man. Black folks say you're a good man. White folks say you're a good man. Your legacy is attached to tonight, brother. Your legacy. Now, let me say to the black members of the board, it's the most solidarity I done seen out of y'all in forever. Let's keep it at. Let's stand on this moving forward, because we don't need to apologize for Connie, Evelyn. She showed you who she was.
I just want to welcome you to the Million Roses platform, and I'm going to allow you just to introduce yourself, to our audience.
I'm Gary Chambers, candidate for Louisiana 2nd Congressional District.
All right. From the first, just first looking at you, a lot of people just going to be familiar with you from the viral video, when you went at the board member. So just talk about, how life has changed after that, because I believe it was seen all across the world.
I don't think I'd be in a position right now to be running for Congress if it wasn't for that. I had about 28,000 followers on Instagram before that. Now I'm at 270,000 followers. At 1,000 followers on Twitter. I got 80,000 now. I had about 35,000 on Facebook before this. I'm at like 49,000. But it introduced me to people that I never would have otherwise been introduced to, gave exposure to our community and the issues that we've been trying to move in the community. So it's really been a beautiful thing.
Right. And it's just looking from the outside looking in, it feels that you come off with so much passion and that you do things genuinely. So when moments like that occur, do you look for it to go viral, or is it just something that just happens?
It never happened before. Like, we stirred conversation in our community with stuff, but like I never had any anticipation that a video would go viral of me doing what I do, There's like dozens of video of me laying into like the school board or the city council or the Parks and Recreation Board. It's just what I do, because I think, and there's a me in every community. There's somebody who is pushing the government forward, trying to get them to do right by folks that are disenfranchised or disadvantaged. For me specifically, black people that have been marginalized and cut out of opportunity repeatedly. But I never saw, and of all the things, like I go to the school board probably less than any other board. Right. So never in a million years did I think that was the way that was going to go.
So before that, who was Gary Chambers and what was Gary Chambers doing?
A father, a business owner, an advocate in my community, somebody who is focused on equity and progress for all people. I got into advocacy kind of by accident. It wasn't something that I set out to do. It was kind of something that just happened. but a small business owner who was just trying to make it in life, you know. And then one day things change.
Right. And where did that passion for being an activist, where did that come from? What was the turning point?
For me, I think when incidents like what happened to Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown happened, those were pivotal moments for me. And then there was a brother named Lamar Johnson in Baton Rouge who was arrested and then subsequently died in Parish Prison. They said he hung himself. And so we started asking questions about what happened to Lamar Johnson. And that's how I got into advocacy. It wasn't because I was looking to be an activist or anything like that. I've always been an opinionated person. And then when the opportunity presented itself to speak up for this family, you know, most folks were running away from it. And I was like, this mother needs answers, you know. And so I just started speaking up on the issue. And it's really like one issue happened and then another issue happened. And before you know it, you in it, you know. And that's kind of how it happened for me.
Right. And now fast forward to present time, you're running for Congress, and it just seems like things has been moving real fast for you. So how do you keep up with the pace that things are going at?
I don't know if I'm keeping up, man.
Right.
I think that I am building a strong team around me that helps me to pull all of this together. No one person can mount a congressional run. I think we got like 13, 14 people on staff right now that are helping us do that. And so by having genuine people around me that have not just my best interest at heart, but the best interest of the people at heart is how we do it.
So was politics something that you wanted to get into, or is it something that just kind of happened? Can you talk about that route?
I met my politicians and thought somebody could do better.
Right.
It wasn't something that I dreamed about doing or anything like that. It was more so when I started having these conversations, pushing these issues, and I was talking to the people in office, it was like, you know, I could do better than you. And recognizing that most people in politics were so connected to the political system and not to the communities that they serve, that too often those people represent political interests and not the people. And so I was out there speaking for the people, wanting more out of my politician. And so because I wasn't getting it, I ran for state senate in 2019. I didn't have this platform in 2019, so we couldn't raise a lot of money. But we put all the right issues out. And I think that we made the elected official who won a better elected official because we talked about all of the right things, which made them respond to the call of the people. And so for me, this has been an evolution of sorts, like into the political spectrum, not something that I was trying to be a business owner.
Right. And, you know, just to kind of piggyback off that, it's like that I'm sure that the people are going to come at you saying that you're taking the unconventional route, that you're not qualified. So what are some answers that you have for those people?
I think we need unconventional politicians. I think that we have seen what Ivy League degrees have gotten us out of our elected officials. We have seen what law degrees get us out of our elected officials. And it's an unjust, inequitable system that doesn't serve the people. And so I think we need to elect people who are more people conscious, that come from these communities, that understand the pulse of the people, and then that are not powered by special interests. The contributions that are coming into our campaign are from working class people, $7, $10, $30, that has helped us raise $277,000 to position us to be able to compete in this race.
Yeah, definitely. And you have I see you have a lot of pull within the community. So just talk about how you nurtured that and how you were able to obtain that trust with the with the fellow citizens.
I think when you keep showing up for people, people believe in you. You know, that's not something I take lightly. I can't tell you the community has always loved me the way that they do, but I think that the more you fight for people, people recognize when you're authentic about that. People recognize that if you keep showing up, that this ain't about, you know, a title or a position, you really care. And the more that I responded to the needs of people in our community, the more people came and gravitated to that conversation. And I think that when you look at my track record of working with families or working on issues, that we've always moved the needle forward. And as a result, you know, people trust us.
And for the people that don't know exactly what a congressman or a congresswoman does, Can you kind of explain the importance of that?
So your Congress member goes to D.C. and they represent you in D.C. They write the laws and bills that are passed by Congress. They approve the budget. They approve what happens with all your income tax dollars at the federal level. They determine how does that money come back into the states and communities. They also are the checks and balances for the president, whether the president can move an issue or not move an issue. The people who vote on those issues are the members of Congress and the member of the Senate. And so it's a great responsibility for Louisiana. We only have one black congressman, even though black folks make up 34% of the state. We should have two. Right. And so this person really is the highest elected black elected official in our state that really is advocating on behalf of all black people in this state, as well as marginalized and progressive people.
Definitely. And as you continue to climb up the ladder, I'm pretty sure that comes with more power and responsibility. So what are some of the key points that you wish to address as you continue to?
I think we got to do something about healthcare access. People need healthcare insurance, so I support Medicare for all. I think we need, Louisiana ranks 50 in the nation. We rank 50 in crime, 50 in opportunity, 48 or something like that in education, 45 in healthcare. We got to do something to create more opportunities and jobs in this state. I'm 35, so for me it's a priority to look at how do we create an economic environment where, whether you're a young black entrepreneur in the arts, whether you're somebody who wants to go the traditional route and go to get a college degree, whether you want to start your own business, whatever your deal is, that you don't have to go to Houston, Dallas, Atlanta, New York, California to live out your wildest dreams. You can do that right here.
Right. And you have a lot of young black men, in Louisiana, and a lot of people aren't really interested in politics, or they just don't know about politics. What's some advice you could give for those people that on my platform? Every
day you go out and spend your money, you're paying taxes, right? So you're giving your money to the government whether you want to or not. There's not a person that I know that's not going to the store making purchases. So you are investing into a system that is the governmental system. If you don't vote, then you're not determining what happens with your money. If you're mad about the way the streets look in your neighborhood, but you don't go up to vote, your dollars that you spend pay for the roads to be paved. If you're mad about the education system and you don't vote, the dollars that you pay in property taxes goes to your education system. If you pay rent, the money that you pay in your rent pays the property taxes on for the property owner who owns the property, which funds your parks and your libraries and all of those things like that. And if you're not satisfied with the things that you see, but you don't vote, then you're a part of the problem because you're allowing other people to decide what happens with your money. And so voting is you being able to decide where the priorities of the government goes. And if you look at it from a financial standpoint, that's like having a chick that, or a male or a female that you dating, they go to work every day and then they give the money to the person who lives next door. Nobody's going to be satisfied with that. If you give half your money to the lady that lives next door, the man that lives next door, your old lady or your man going to be like, well, where the money is, right? That's what not voting is. It's allowing your neighbor to spend your money.
Right. And you being a young black man with so much passion in what you're doing and going in the direction that you're going, I'm sure you met with a bunch of roadblocks along the way. So how do you overcome that?
I got a hashtag I use, but it's really like a motto for me, is to keep pushing. I'm a very spiritual person, and so I pray deeply for discernment and wisdom. One of my greatest prayers is for wisdom. And that wisdom is to know sometimes what to say and sometimes when not to say anything. Sometimes I think we feel a need to respond to everything that happens to us. But I'm a living witness that if you just keep pushing through, what's supposed to be for you and what's supposed to happen for you is eventually going to fall into place if your heart is right towards the issue. And so obstacles will be there. Weapons will form. Enemies will exist. But scripture tells me that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Don't say that the weapon won't form. Said that it'll prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies. Didn't say my enemies wouldn't be there. Right. Matter of fact, it said my enemies going to be at the table. So if my enemy's at the table, this means it's time to eat. And my perspective on life is that no matter who's at the table, no matter what the obstacle is, I'm going to keep pushing.
Definitely. And I have one last question. I don't want to hold you too long because I know you got more things to do. For the 18-year-old, the 19-year-old, that's their first time voting and they're sitting behind watching this on TV, what advice can you give to them, to the person that's watching and they're just not, they don't feel well about the current situation with the government, or they don't feel well about, you know, politics, or they don't feel comfortable about politicians? What's some advice that you'll give to them? To
Get up and do something about it. Be a part of the process. Just like me, you know. I'm a living witness that you can make change happen in your community. But it's not going to happen just talking about it. It's not going to happen just tweeting about it. It's not going to happen just talking to your homeboy, your homegirl about it. You got to make a decision for yourself that if I don't like what I see, I'm going to be a part of making stuff better. And you're not going to know that, what to do out the gate. I didn't know when I first jumped off the porch what policies I needed to support, but the more I showed up, the more I learned. The more I learned, the more I knew what to do. And the more I was able to be an active participant in my community. And so I would encourage everybody to take the time to go to a city council meeting, to go to a school board meeting, and watch what happens, you know. And when you watch what happens, eventually some people a light bulb is going to go off and say, I can do better than them. Right. And you run for office, and the people that support you will put you in office and put you in a position to get in office. And don't be scared of confronting your elected officials and talking to them about the things that you don't like, you know. You might not know all of the right words, you might not know all of the right positions and all of that, but you know when you see something wrong, speak up about that.
All right. And do you feel like there's a growing sense of urgency for black people to learn about politics, you know, just the things that's going on around them?
Absolutely, absolutely. Maynard Jackson, who was the first black mayor of Atlanta, said that he believed that politics was the last nonviolent way to advance black people in America. And I fully believe that, you know, these systems and structures that exist, they were built through the mechanisms of government to oppress us, right? It was legal through the government to enslave our ancestors. It was legal through the government to do gerrymandering and Jim Crow. So if the government was the tools that they used to oppress us, those can also be the tools to liberate us. And so if we stay away from that, then we give our oppressor the ability to decide what happens with us through the mechanisms that we're paying into.
Definitely, man. So what's
I see light bulb going on.
Yeah, got me. But like I said, I ain't gonna hold you too long. Do you have anything else that you would like to add?
Go vote March 30th, and I hope you're voting for me.
All right. Hopefully next time we're doing the interview, you'll be the congressman.
That's it, man.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you, my man.
Thank you.